Okay, good morning, guys. So this may be considered ghetto, but I have to get ready for work this morning. It's the day after Christmas, and I really do hope that everybody enjoyed their holidays and spent it with somebody, either love, special, whatever term of endearing, whatever. But I hope everybody ate good. I know I did. But anyway, I was doing this quick video while I was getting ready for work, and you guys are gonna see me get ready for work. So it's the day after Christmas, so all the presents that people don't want, I'm gonna get today. Okay, so anyway, alright, so I was on my hair board. It was the close of Christmas Day, and sorry, I'm not gonna be looking at you guys, let me look in the mirror. It's the close of Christmas Day evening, and one of my hair board members posted a link, and you know, they wrote a little statement before that, but I went ahead and I clicked on the link, and it was Taren916, I believe her name is, and I have heard of Taren916, and the reason why I heard of Taren916 is because of that huge debacle, what was that, a month or two ago, between her African expert and Kimmy Tube. I'm not commenting on that. So anyway, I'm watching her video, and she did a unedited, just raw, like, video talking about what has happened to her hair, which is heat damage. And as I was watching the video, I appreciated her realness that she came to her subscribers with. Like, I appreciate her honesty and her just keeping it 100 or whatever. So anyway, she was like, the only thing I didn't like is that she was showing her heat damage on dry hair. And on dry hair, it's not as evident because you can kind of play around with it and hide it a little bit. But being that she's telling you guys about it, she's obviously like coming forward about it. But I really would have preferred to see her hair wet, because that's when you can really see it. So and she was just saying, you know, she was, you know, at this place where she was just like, well, what do I do? Do I cut it and start all over again, walk a cute little bob, a little fro, and start again? But she was honest. She's like, I really don't want to do that. She's like, so then that means I have to hide it. So my video today, I'm going to kind of talk about heat damage for 30, well, not 30 seconds, but for a few seconds, and then I gotta go. So anyway, so what is heat damage? So most of you guys who are natural or not natural or whatever know about heat damage, or some of y'all may not. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Heat damage is essentially, in a nutshell, when so much heat has been applied to the hair that the hair does not revert back to whatever state it originally was in before you started using heat. So basically, any type of curl pattern, coil pattern, wave pattern that you may have had, it's lost once you get heat damage. It'll be like, it'll be kind of curly, and then you may have like a few little straggly straight ends. And in her video, she shows you some of the straggly limp ends that she has from the heat damage. So, you know, it's a real thing for the for everybody, and it's a real fear for a lot of people in the natural hair community. A lot of us are really scared of heat damage. It's the reason why a lot of us don't straighten our hair that often, because we don't want it to happen. Because, you know, what we have to understand, ladies, is that first off, our hair is basically like, well, is a fiber. It's a keratin fiber. It's made up of proteins mainly, and some other great cool stuff. But essentially, what I want you guys to take away is that your hair is a fiber. And, you know, fiber are your clothes. So it's possible for you to light your clothes on fire and ruin them, just as it is with your hair. So, one blog that I really love to read is The Natural Haven. And she's like a UK curly or whatever head. And she does a lot of scientific research, and if you kind of have a background in science, meaning you went to high school and you retain some of the information you learned in biology and chemistry and physics and stuff like that, for the most part, you know, it all checks out. So she did 2 articles that I found very helpful about heat damage. And one of them, she talks about how hot is too hot or something like that. I will by Monday post a link to that. If I can, I will post a link to her article. So she talks about how hot is too hot. And so she gives like temperature ranges for, you know, what's safe, or quote, quote, hold on, let me say it, safe to put in your hair. So she says at, and everything's in Celsius, but she converts it for you. So yay, I hate it when I go to UK sites and they don't convert anything, because I don't feel like trying to find that equation thing and do it. So anyway, she says at 302, when you apply a flat iron to your hair, at 302 degrees Fahrenheit, basically you just lose water from your hair. That's it. Your hair will pretty much go back to the way it was supposed to be, but you just lose that water from the hair. Okay? So don't forget, water is also moisture for our hair, for everybody's hair. So at 302, you pretty much have steamed it on out. Then from 320 to 347 Fahrenheit, what happens is what she calls a glass transition phase. So what happens is your hair begins to kind of be like glass. Like, you know, when you see people blowing the glass blowers and the glass kind of becomes like this liquidy, weird, kind of reminds you of Laffy Taffy. That's what begins to happen to your hair. Your hair will begin to have this glassing out effect, this hot glass effect. And so what happens is that your hair will return back to normal, most likely. Now this is where I'm going to start saying most likely. Your hair will most likely return back to normal, but it will only look normal. Like it won't be the same, but it will look normal. And which is true, because think about, when you're blowing out glass, it's to make a whole new shape. So once they're done making that shape, the glass returns back to glass, but it's a whole entirely different shape. The composition, the molecules have been moved around, okay? And sometimes it could be even thinner. And then from 419 to 465, I mean, the hair protein helixes that keeps everything together begin to melt. So at this point, you're just melting your hair. So, you know, I will go ahead. Well, hold on, let me say this one last thing. Also, when you use blow dryers and flat irons, if you have any water in your hair, and let me just go ahead and tell you, from Chikiro's Grow It, she does say that doesn't matter, somehow there's water in your hair, because your hair, you know, it's like a sponge, it takes it all. So it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to have some type of water in your hair. So what happens when you put heat on your hair as well is that you can form hair bubbles in your hair, which is basically the steam, the water that's in your hair turns into steam and then forms little bubbles, and then you get hair bubbles. And so why that's important is that when you get hair bubbles, your hair will, like the ends or the whole shaft, will feel bumpy and rough. Okay, now let me talk about my experience. A lot of this is very true. I've never had heat damage before. Well, I will say, to my knowledge, I've never had heat damage before, and I'm talking about since I've been natural. A lot of times there is a reality to straightening your hair. I have very thick hair, so for me, I would love it if I could just put my flat iron on 302 and most likely not have heat damage. Like, I feel like I raise my levels of not having heat damage by 90%. But once again, this is not a science. It's every single time you straighten your hair, it's a risk. It's a risk that you may lose your curl pattern. It's a risk that your hair may not return to the way it is. But you know, I wish I could, you know, straighten my hair at 302, but I can't, because I have this thick hair. And one thing you don't want to do is like keep passing the flat iron over your hair, because that can make a bad situation in itself too. That can also increase your risk of heat damage. So a lot of times, and I found this out recently, that I've been playing with danger, because I'll at least crank mine up to 400 degrees. And that's the point where you start melting your hair. So when I flat ironed my hair, and when I have blown dried my hair, I have noticed that my hair acts a little funky after I get done. After I go back to wash my hair, wash out what I did to my hair acts a little funky. Like It literally somewhat looks the same. It's a little fuzzy. The looser curls that I have in the back hang a little bit looser, right? But it's still curly. Like I don't have any like stringy, straggly ends on my hair, you know, whatever at that moment. So I have to do a deep conditioner, and that's generally when I throw in some protein with it to help, you know, get my hair feeling back up to par. I'll put some heat protectant on it. Oh crap, I got lines. I should wait for that to dry. Well, nobody will see really, except you guys. So I will do some protein treatments to get my hair feeling back right. But honestly, it takes about I feel like almost a month for my hair to really return back to what I consider normal. So it is perfectly normal if you flat iron or blow dry your hair for your hair to be like a little frazzled once you go back to wash it out or whatever. That's completely normal. Or whatever, but it is a pain, which is why a lot of us naturals and those who are very hair care conscious, we will not flat iron frequently, because we just, you know, we don't want to have to deal with that, the fear, the risk, and then our hair acting funky for however long until it returns back to normal. None of us feel like really dealing with that. So I say all that to say that you know, guys, make sure you really know what you're doing when you flat iron your hair. I really felt bad for her. My heart went out for her. I mean, she just, you could see the disappointment, the anger, the frustration. Well, okay, maybe I'm stretching with the anger. Maybe she was angry. I don't know. But the frustration, definitely. The frustration was definitely there. And I really felt for her. And like I said, I really appreciate that she came on and talked about it and how she kind of has to start over in the most weirdest of ways. But I'm done doing my makeup. So my take-home message is, you know, a lot of us, you've probably seen a whole bunch of flat iron tutorials, because right now the dew point is so low in a lot of states that have a winter, and so there's not a lot of moisture in the air. So a flat iron job, if we want to keep it for a week, won't be a waste. We won't have to worry about the heat and the moisture in the air reverting our hair back. So you're going to see a lot of people flat ironing, and I'm going to emphasize to you guys right now, you need to make sure how you prevent heat damage is, one, you make sure that you use a heat protector, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it, preferably with silicones. They are going to keep that barrier between your hair as you are trying to flat iron your hair straight, okay? They're going to keep that barrier. They're going to protect your hair. This is when silicones come in handy. You just know that you have to use a sulfate-based shampoo after you get done. And for me, my hair didn't feel weird and gunky after the sulfate shampoo, because I only used that one time. And then after the sulfate shampoo, I deep conditioned my hair. So heat protection is very key. Number two, stop cranking that flat iron all the way up. When you're using a blow dry, medium to high if you must. But with that flat iron, it's going straight on your hair. You need to make sure that you're not cranking it all the way up at the highest heat setting. And if you do, go ahead and know that you're playing rush and roulette with your hair. And I'm trying to think of the other thing to say. Oh, give your hair time to get back to normal. Like I told you guys already in my original naturals tips that, you know, it took a second for my hair to go back to normal. No, excuse me. My tip was, you know, give your curl pattern time to develop if you have one. But if you've been using a lot of heat and stuff, your hair is a little frazzled and it may take a while to go back, okay? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I've got to go. We got a little snow on the ground, and I will go ahead and say, you know, giveaway still going on. Big hint, guys, all of the questions that I ask, they are all pertaining to the 12 Curly Days Christmas, at least the original 5. So, it ends on the 31st, so, you know, if 100 people don't participate, that's fine. I'll pull from the names I already have, and they have a higher chance of winning. So, definitely enjoy the rest of your guys' holidays, and remember, heat damage is real. Please be careful with your hair and treat it like it's just the finest piece of fabric ever. Love you guys. Bye.